And affordable housing has been an issue in Montgomery County for a long, long time. And the recent increase in housing costs, the cost to build, the cost to rent, the cost to own, have only exacerbated the problem. The demand is just kind of has been crazy. And so this week, the county council took up and to wrestle with the issues of attainable housing after a series of 5 listening sessions were held on the topic. According to the group Epic of MoCo, hundreds of community members attended these planning sessions to learn about the plans that the planning board put forward to radically change the zoning code of Montgomery County, and in the process threaten the community fabric of Montgomery County, according to many, by changing single-family zoning in targeted areas of the county. Maricé, it seems the county council was unprepared for the negative reaction from the community. This plan has been kicking around for a while. What's going to happen now?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say unprepared. I think from the very beginning, we've had kind of the same civic associations in the same areas. I remember in my constituency, the Aspen Hill Civic Association, in all those neighborhoods around Glenmont, for example, because the targeted areas, as you say, tends to be a specific distance from a place of transit. So it could be metro, or it could be BRT, or the rails, etc. So I don't think that was unprepared. I think, we know that there's a pocket of the community that wants to keep Montgomery how it was 30, 40 years ago when they moved here, and but the demographics have changed, and unfortunately, we're running out of housing. And so I think with these listening sessions, I think that's the planning board really doing its due diligence to try to hear kind of the diverse voices around these issues. And but this issue has been around even when I was elected. We were talking about changing those single home zonings to be able to build duplexes and quads, etc. But I think that as we grapple with this issue, we're going to really come down to a good negotiation, between the two, I guess, the two loudest voices, which is, again, preserving the single home spaces, but then also building. I mean, we're running out of spaces to build.
Well, I mean, it seems like in every shopping center that I frequent, they're carving out parking for townhouse development. So, Laurie, the planning board has been working on this plan for the past 4 years. I mean, we've been talking about Thrive 2050 Montgomery endlessly on this program, and it reflects the various policies that the council has been passing, like Thrive 2050 Montgomery, the climate action plan, and the racial equity and social justice plan that also has an impact on housing. But it seems now that the general public is becoming aware of the issue and doesn't really like what the council is proposing.
Yeah, I think, during COVID, everyone had COVID malaise and they weren't paying as much attention to the news. And I think a lot of this information was missed. And now people actually think, oh, this is going to affect my home. And when it affects your home and your neighborhood, it makes a big difference. So now people are understanding that, 85% of the homes are going to be affected in the county. And that's really a scary thought, to know that your next door neighbor could sell their house and a triplex could come up next door. And that might make your own house less likely to sell for the same price. And it makes your whole neighborhood change, and it makes the parking pretty much impossible. And, I just think that that's the reason why, people know they're affected by it. And I think that what's going on is we need to rethink what's going on. Mark Elrich has been opposed to this and says that we're being conned, and that there's 30,000 units that are in the plan to be built that are not yet built. So, they say, oh, there's no room, but maybe there is room. And it's just a problem about how we zone. Should these homes be apartment units or should they be townhomes? And I think there are a lot of apartment units being built that maybe should be switched to townhomes.
So, well, Maricé, all of the jurisdictions in the county. I mean, Arlington is famous for the missing middle issue, but Prince George's County had tried to ban the construction of townhomes for a while. They put a moratorium on it.
That's right.
And how do we balance this effort to provide additional housing at prices that people can afford. I mean, 650 to 750,000 to $1 million townhomes really doesn't solve the problem. You got about 60 seconds. Sorry.
Well, my answer is going to surprise you, actually, because mathematically, when you have the market decide what the actual value of a lot is, I would argue, I disagree with Laurie. I think people's homes are actually going to go up because you'll have developers wanting to buy that land from you. So, and when you look at the development of major cities, not just in the United States, but in Europe, my parents are from Peru. They're losing their home in Peru. And Lima is getting outrageous because it's the same thing. It's housing shortages all over the world because we're just reproducing. And that's just an issue, So I don't know how we solve it, but I think addressing the needs and listening to all the voices, which is what the planning board is doing. Let's give them, before our complaint was, oh, well, you did this behind closed doors during COVID and nobody attended these sessions. Now we're here. So, let's let them do their job, and so we don't complain later.
Well, thank you. And the council's going to take your advice because they're punting on this issue and not going to take it up until 2025.